Welcome to Woo English. In this story, you'll learn English through clear and simple sentences. Feel free to write comments and share your thoughts. If you enjoy the story, please press the like button to support us. It really helps. This story is for educational purposes. We aim to help you improve your English while enjoying an inspiring tale about Leonardo da Vinci. His journey offers valuable lessons about curiosity, creativity, and perseverance. But we do not encourage or glorify any actions in the story. Let's begin the journey together. Chapter 1. The Early Years. In a small village of Vinci, nestled among the rolling hills of Tuscany, Italy, a child was born on a spring day in 1452. His name was Leonardo di Ser Piero da Vinci, but history would remember him simply as Leonardo da Vinci. He was born out of wedlock to a peasant woman named Caterina and a respected notary, Ser Piero da Vinci. This illegitimacy meant Leonardo faced a unique set of challenges from the very beginning of his life. Leonardo's early years were spent in the rustic beauty of the countryside, surrounded by nature's wonders. The village of Vinci was a serene place, with its olive groves, vineyards, and the slow-moving Arno River winding its way through the landscape. From a young age, Leonardo was captivated by the natural world. He would spend hours observing the flight of birds, the flow of water, and the intricate patterns of leaves. Living with his grandparents, Leonardo often felt the absence of his father, who was busy with his legal work in Florence. However, this lack of direct paternal influence allowed Leonardo the freedom to explore and nurture his curiosity. His mother, Caterina, soon married another man and moved away, leaving young Leonardo to grow up in a rather unconventional household. Despite these familial complexities, Leonardo's childhood was not unhappy. His grandfather, who was kind and understanding, played a significant role in his upbringing. He noticed Leonardo's keen interest in the world around him and encouraged his inquisitive nature. Leonardo was given access to his grandfather's collection of books, which, although modest, included works on mathematics, science, and art. These books opened new worlds to him and ignited a passion for learning that would never fade. As Leonardo grew older, his fascination with art became evident. He would sketch the landscapes, animals, and people of Vinci with remarkable skill for his age. His drawings were not just simple depictions, but detailed studies that showed a deep understanding of his subjects. It was clear that Leonardo saw the world differently, with an artist's eye and a scientist's curiosity. At the age of 14, Leonardo's life took a significant turn. Recognizing his son's extraordinary talent, Ser Piero arranged for Leonardo to move to Florence and become an apprentice in the workshop of Andrea del Verrocchio, a renowned artist of the time. This was a pivotal moment for Leonardo, marking the beginning of his formal education in the arts. Florence, in the 15th century, was a hub of cultural and intellectual activity. The city was alive with the energy of the Renaissance, a period of great artistic and scientific advancements. For Leonardo, moving to Florence was like stepping into a world of endless possibilities. The streets were filled with the works of great artists, the sounds of new music, and the ideas of forward-thinking philosophers. In Verrocchio's workshop, Leonardo's days were filled with learning and practice. He was not only taught the technical skills of painting and sculpture, but also the importance of observation and experimentation. Verrocchio's workshop was a place of collaboration and innovation, where apprentices were encouraged to explore and push the boundaries of their creativity. Leonardo quickly distinguished himself with his talent and dedication. He would often stay late into the night, perfecting his techniques and experimenting with new ideas. His natural ability to capture the essence of his subjects, combined with his meticulous attention to detail, soon earned him the respect of his peers and mentors. One day, Verrocchio was working on a painting titled The Baptism of Christ and asked Leonardo to help him with it. Leonardo painted an angel in the background, and when Verrocchio saw it, he was so impressed by the young apprentice's work that he reportedly vowed never to paint again, believing that Leonardo had surpassed him. Despite his success in the workshop, Leonardo's insatiable curiosity extended beyond art. He spent his free time studying a wide range of subjects, from anatomy to engineering. He would dissect animals to understand their structure and movement, drawing detailed sketches of their muscles and bones. He invented machines and gadgets, always seeking to understand the principles behind how things worked. However, Leonardo's unconventional upbringing as an illegitimate child had instilled in him a sense of being different, an outsider. This feeling fueled his desire to prove himself and to seek knowledge that could transcend the limitations placed upon him by society. He was determined to make his mark on the world, not just as an artist, but as a thinker and innovator. Leonardo's early years in Vinci and his apprenticeship in Florence laid the foundation for his extraordinary life. The experiences and challenges of his youth shaped his character and ignited a lifelong passion for learning and discovery. He learned to see the world with both an artist's sensitivity and a scientist's analytical mind, a combination that would define his approach to everything he did. Chapter 2: An Apprentice in Florence. When Leonardo was 14 years old, his father decided it was time for him to leave their small village of Vinci and move to the bustling city of Florence. Leonardo was to become an apprentice under Andrea del Verrocchio, one of the most renowned artists of the time. Florence, with its busy streets and grand buildings, was a world apart from the quiet countryside of Vinci. As Leonardo stepped into Verrocchio's workshop for the first time, he was filled with a mixture of excitement and nervousness. The workshop was a large, open space filled with the smell of paint and the sound of busy artists. Sculptures and paintings were everywhere, and young apprentices were hard at work, learning from their master. This would be Leonardo's new home, a place where he would spend many hours honing his craft. Verrocchio was a demanding teacher, but he was also a generous one. He taught his apprentices everything they needed to know about painting and sculpture. Under his guidance, Leonardo learned to mix pigments, prepare canvases, and handle brushes with precision. He studied the human body, practicing drawing muscles and bones to understand how they worked. Verrocchio emphasized the importance of observation, urging his students to look closely at the world around them and capture it accurately in their art. Leonardo was a quick learner. He had a natural talent for drawing, and his attention to detail was remarkable. He would spend hours observing people and animals, sketching their movements and expressions. He also showed an interest in the technical aspects of art, experimenting with different materials and techniques. His sketches were not just simple drawings. They were detailed studies that showed a deep understanding of his subjects. One of the most exciting moments for Leonardo came when Verrocchio asked him to help with a large painting titled The Baptism of Christ. This was a significant opportunity for the young apprentice, as it allowed him to work on a major piece alongside his master. Leonardo was given the task of painting an angel in the background. He approached this task with great care, using all the skills he had learned to create a lifelike and beautiful figure. When Verrocchio saw Leonardo's work, he was amazed. The angel Leonardo had painted was so vibrant and realistic that it seemed to stand out from the rest of the painting. According to legend, Verrocchio was so impressed by Leonardo's talent that he decided never to paint again, believing that his young apprentice had surpassed him. This story, whether entirely true or not, shows how Leonardo's skill was already setting him apart from his peers. But his achievements in Verrocchio's workshop were not limited to painting. He also learned the art of sculpture, creating detailed clay models and practicing the techniques needed to carve stone. He became proficient in the use of perspective, a technique that made paintings look three-dimensional, and he studied anatomy, dissecting animals to understand how their bodies worked. Florence during the Renaissance was a vibrant and exciting place. The city was a center of art, science, and culture, attracting thinkers and artists from all over Europe. The Medici family, who ruled Florence, were great patrons of the arts and supported many artists, including Leonardo. This created a rich environment where new ideas were constantly being explored and shared. Leonardo's time in Florence exposed him to a wide range of influences. He met other artists and thinkers, exchanging ideas and learning from their experiences. He visited the city's many churches and palaces, studying the artworks and architecture they contained. He attended public lectures and discussions, absorbing knowledge on subjects as diverse as mathematics, physics, and literature. One of Leonardo's notable works from this period is a small painting called The Annunciation. In this painting, he depicted the angel Gabriel appearing to the Virgin Mary, announcing that she would give birth to Jesus. The painting is remarkable for its use of perspective and its attention to detail, particularly in the background landscape. Leonardo's careful observation of nature is evident in the realistic depiction of plants and the play of light and shadow. But Leonardo's interests extended far beyond painting and sculpture. He was fascinated by the natural world and conducted his own scientific investigations. He studied the flight of birds, trying to understand how they stayed in the air. He examined the movement of water, drawing intricate diagrams of its flow. He even designed machines and devices, sketching plans for everything from musical instruments to war machines. Leonardo's notebooks from this time are filled with sketches and writings on a wide range of topics. These notebooks show his insatiable curiosity and his desire to understand the world in all its complexity. They also reveal his innovative spirit, as he constantly sought new ways to solve problems and create new things. As Leonardo continued to develop his skills, his reputation as an artist and thinker grew. He received commissions for more works and was sought after by patrons who recognized his talent. But despite his success, he remained humble and dedicated to learning. He understood that there was always more to discover and more to achieve. Leonardo's time as an apprentice in Florence was a crucial period in his life. It was here that he laid the foundation for his future achievements, mastering the techniques and gaining the knowledge that would later make him one of the greatest artists and inventors of all time. His experiences in Verrocchio's workshop, combined with the rich, cultural atmosphere of Florence, nurtured his extraordinary talents and set him on a path of lifelong exploration and creativity. As Leonardo's skills grew, so did his dreams. He began to envision a future where he could combine art and science, using his knowledge to create works that were both beautiful and innovative. Little did he know that he was on the verge of a journey that would lead him to greatness, a journey that would leave an indelible mark on history and inspire generations to come. Chapter 3: A Budding Artist. Leonardo da Vinci's life in Florence was full of learning and discovery. After years as an apprentice in Verrocchio's workshop, Leonardo began to gain recognition for his talent. People started to notice his exceptional skills and unique style. This period was crucial for Leonardo as he began to develop his identity as an artist. One of Leonardo's early works that drew attention was a painting of a young woman, Ginevra de' Benci. It was a portrait of a wealthy Florentine lady. In this painting, Leonardo showed his ability to capture not just the physical appearance of a person, but also their personality and emotions. Ginevra's face was calm and composed, but her eyes revealed a depth of character. This skill of bringing his subjects to life would become a hallmark of Leonardo's work. As Leonardo's reputation grew, he received more commissions. One significant project was a large altarpiece for the Chapel of San Bernardo. This work was meant to be grand and inspiring, showing scenes from the Bible. Leonardo took this opportunity to experiment with new techniques. He used light and shadow to create depth, making the figures in the painting look three-dimensional. This technique, called chiaroscuro, became one of Leonardo's trademarks. But painting was not Leonardo's only interest. His curiosity about the world around him was boundless. He wanted to understand everything, from the simplest plants to the most complex machines. This led him to study a wide range of subjects, including anatomy, engineering, and science. Leonardo's fascination with anatomy was evident in his detailed sketches of the human body. He would dissect animals and study their muscles and bones, drawing what he saw with incredible precision. These drawings were not just artistic exercises, they were scientific studies aimed at understanding how living things worked. Leonardo's notebooks were filled with these sketches, each one a testament to his keen observation and analytical mind. One day, while walking through the streets of Florence, Leonardo saw a group of children playing with a small mechanical toy. It was a simple device, but it sparked an idea in his mind. Leonardo rushed back to his studio and began sketching plans for various machines. He designed flying machines, bridges, and even a suit of armor. His mind was always at work, imagining new inventions and improvements to existing technologies. Leonardo's love for engineering also led him to study the movement of water. He was fascinated by the way rivers flowed and how water behaved when it encountered obstacles. He spent hours observing streams and fountains, making detailed notes and drawings. He even devised plans for canals and water pumps, always thinking of practical ways to use his knowledge. Despite his many interests, Leonardo never lost sight of his main passion: art. He continued to create beautiful and innovative works that captivated his audience. One of his most famous early paintings was The Adoration of the Magi. This painting depicted the three wise men visiting the baby Jesus. Leonardo's use of perspective and attention to detail made the scene come alive. The figures in the painting seemed to move and breathe, showing Leonardo's mastery of his craft. Leonardo's diverse interests often influenced his art. His studies in anatomy helped him paint more realistic human figures. His knowledge of engineering allowed him to create complex compositions with perfect balance. His observations of nature gave his landscapes a lifelike quality. Each of his works was a blend of art and science, reflecting his unique approach to both fields. As Leonardo continued to work and study, he became known not just as an artist, but as a thinker and inventor. People admired his ability to see connections between different disciplines and to use that understanding to create something new. Leonardo's workshop became a place of innovation where ideas flowed freely and creativity was encouraged. One of Leonardo's most ambitious projects during this time was a giant statue of a horse for the Duke of Milan. This project, known as the Gran Cavallo, was meant to be the largest equestrian statue ever made. Leonardo poured all his knowledge of anatomy and engineering into this work, creating detailed plans and models. Although the statue was never completed, the project showed Leonardo's ability to think on a grand scale and his willingness to tackle challenging tasks. Leonardo's insatiable curiosity and desire to learn made him a true Renaissance man. He was constantly seeking new knowledge and finding ways to apply it in his work. His notebooks from this period are a treasure trove of ideas, filled with sketches, observations, and inventions. They show a mind that was always active, always questioning, and always creating. Despite his growing fame, Leonardo remained humble and dedicated to his work. He understood that there was always more to learn and more to achieve. This attitude drove him to keep exploring and experimenting, pushing the boundaries of what was possible. As the years passed, Leonardo's influence continued to grow. He inspired other artists and thinkers with his innovative approach and his relentless pursuit of knowledge. His early successes laid the foundation for an extraordinary career, one that would leave a lasting impact on the world. Leonardo da Vinci's journey as a budding artist was marked by curiosity, creativity, and a desire to understand the world. His early works and experiments showed the promise of a great mind, one that would go on to achieve incredible things. Leonardo's story is a testament to the power of curiosity and the importance of never stopping in the search for knowledge. Chapter 4: The Adoration of the Magi. In 1481, Leonardo da Vinci was given an important task. The monks of San Donato, a monastery in Florence, asked him to paint an altarpiece for their church. They wanted a grand and beautiful painting to inspire their congregation. Leonardo was excited about this project and began working on what would become one of his early masterpieces, The Adoration of the Magi. The Adoration of the Magi depicts the moment when the three wise men, or Magi, visit the baby Jesus. It is a popular story from the Bible, and many artists have painted this scene. But Leonardo wanted to do something different. He wanted his painting to be more than just a picture. He wanted it to tell a story and show deep emotion. Leonardo started with a series of sketches. He filled pages with drawings, trying to capture the perfect composition. He experimented with different arrangements of the figures, paying close attention to their gestures and expressions. Leonardo wanted each person in the painting to have a unique personality, and he worked hard to show their feelings through their faces and body language. One of the innovative techniques Leonardo used in this painting was perspective. Perspective is a way of showing depth and distance on a flat surface, making the scene look three-dimensional. Leonardo placed the figures in a way that draws the viewer's eye into the painting, creating a sense of space and movement. The viewer feels as if they are stepping into the scene, witnessing the event firsthand. Leonardo's use of light and shadow, known as chiaroscuro, also played a significant role in the painting. He used light to highlight important figures and create contrast, making them stand out against the darker background. This technique added drama to the scene, emphasizing the significance of the moment. As Leonardo worked on The Adoration of the Magi, he faced several challenges. One of the biggest challenges was the size of the painting. It was large, and creating a detailed and balanced composition on such a scale required careful planning and execution. Leonardo had to ensure that every part of the painting worked together to tell the story and convey the emotions he wanted to express. Another challenge was the complexity of the scene. The Adoration of the Magi involves many figures, each with their own role and expression. Leonardo had to think about how they interacted with each other and how their placement would affect the overall composition. He wanted the painting to feel alive, with each figure contributing to the story. Despite these challenges, Leonardo's meticulous approach helped him make progress. He spent countless hours perfecting each detail, from the folds of the clothing to the expressions on the faces. His commitment to accuracy and realism was evident in every stroke of his brush. Leonardo's curiosity and desire to understand the world around him also played a role in his work. He studied the human body, observing how muscles moved and how light interacted with different surfaces. This knowledge allowed him to create lifelike figures that seemed to breathe and move within the painting. While working on The Adoration of the Magi, Leonardo's quest for perfection sometimes slowed him down. He would often make changes to the composition, reworking parts of the painting to achieve the desired effect. This constant revision was a double-edged sword. It ensured a high level of quality, but also meant that the painting took longer to complete. Unfortunately, Leonardo never finished The Adoration of the Magi. The monks of San Donato eventually ran out of patience and gave the commission to another artist. However, even in its unfinished state, the painting remains a testament to Leonardo's skill and innovation. It shows his ability to combine art and science, creating a work that is both beautiful and deeply meaningful. The Adoration of the Magi is more than just a painting. It is a window into Leonardo's mind. It reveals his thought process, his attention to detail, and his relentless pursuit of perfection. It also highlights his ability to convey complex emotions and tell a story through his art. Leonardo's approach to The Adoration of the Magi influenced many other artists. His use of perspective, light, and shadow became essential techniques in Renaissance art. Artists admired his ability to create lifelike figures and dynamic compositions. and they sought to emulate his methods. For learners of English, the Adoration of the Magi offers valuable lessons. It teaches the importance of patience and dedication in pursuing one's goals. Leonardo's meticulous approach and willingness to revise his work show that achieving excellence requires time and effort. It also highlights the importance of observation and study, as Leonardo's understanding of the human body and the natural world informed his art. Moreover, the Adoration of the Magi demonstrates the power of storytelling. Through his painting, Leonardo told a story that resonated with viewers, drawing them into the scene and evoking emotion. This skill is valuable not only in art, but also in communication and language learning. Being able to tell a story and convey emotions effectively is a key aspect of mastering any language. Leonardo da Vinci's work on the Adoration of the Magi is a reminder of the endless possibilities that come from curiosity and creativity. It encourages learners to explore their interests, to ask questions, and to seek a deeper understanding of the world. Whether in art, science, or language, the pursuit of knowledge and the desire to create something meaningful are universal goals. Chapter 5. The Milanese Court. In 1482, Leonardo da Vinci made a significant move. He left Florence and traveled to Milan, a city known for its wealth and power. His new employer was Ludovico Sforza, the Duke of Milan. Ludovico, also called Il Moro, wanted to make Milan a center of art and culture, and he believed that Leonardo could help him achieve this dream. When Leonardo arrived in Milan, he was struck by the city's grandeur. The streets were wide and bustling with activity. There were impressive buildings and beautiful gardens. It was a place of great opportunity, and Leonardo was eager to make his mark. At the Milanese court, Leonardo's life was very different from what he had known in Florence. The court was a lively and vibrant place, filled with artists, musicians, and scholars. There were constant feasts, celebrations, and intellectual discussions. Leonardo thrived in this environment, finding inspiration in the rich cultural atmosphere. One of Leonardo's first tasks for Ludovico was to design and create a grand equestrian statue in honor of Ludovico's father, Francesco Sforza. This project, known as the Gran Cavallo, was meant to be the largest horse statue ever made. Leonardo spent many months studying horses, sketching their muscles and movements. He wanted the statue to be realistic and majestic. Unfortunately, due to political and financial difficulties, the statue was never completed. However, Leonardo's detailed sketches and plans for the project remain a testament to his skill and vision. During his time in Milan, Leonardo also worked on various architectural and engineering projects. He designed fortifications, bridges, and canals. His innovative ideas and practical solutions impressed Ludovico and others at the court. Leonardo's knowledge of engineering was vast, and he constantly sought to improve his designs and invent new machines. One of Leonardo's most famous works from his time in Milan is The Last Supper. This masterpiece was painted on the wall of the dining hall in the convent of Santa Maria delle Grazie. The painting depicts the moment when Jesus announces to his disciples that one of them will betray him. Leonardo's use of perspective and his attention to detail make the scene incredibly lifelike. Leonardo approached The Last Supper with great care. He wanted to capture the emotions of each disciple, showing their reactions to Jesus' shocking news. Some disciples look surprised, others are angry, and a few seem confused. Leonardo's ability to depict these different emotions made the painting unique and powerful. To create The Last Supper, Leonardo used a technique called fresco secco, painting on dry plaster instead of wet. This allowed him to work slowly and make changes as needed. However, this method also made the painting less durable, and it began to deteriorate soon after it was completed. Despite this, The Last Supper remains one of Leonardo's most celebrated works, admired for its composition and emotional depth. While in Milan, Leonardo formed close relationships with other artists and scholars. He enjoyed discussing ideas and learning from his peers. One of his friends was the mathematician Luca Pacioli, with whom he shared a passion for geometry. Together, they studied the proportions of the human body and the principles of perspective. These studies influenced Leonardo's art and contributed to his reputation as a Renaissance man, skilled in both the arts and sciences. Leonardo's curiosity led him to explore many different fields during his time in Milan. He studied anatomy, dissecting human and animal bodies to understand how they worked. He observed the natural world, sketching plants, animals, and landscapes. He also continued to invent, designing everything from musical instruments to war machines. One of Leonardo's inventions was a new type of musical instrument called the viola organista. This instrument combined elements of the harpsichord and the organ, producing a unique and beautiful sound. Although Leonardo never built the instrument himself, his detailed drawings and descriptions inspired others to bring his idea to life centuries later. Leonardo's work at the Milanese court was not without challenges. Political tensions and financial difficulties often disrupted his projects. Additionally, his perfectionism sometimes slowed his progress. Leonardo was known for starting many projects but finishing few, as he was always seeking to improve and refine his work. Despite these challenges, Leonardo's time in Milan was incredibly productive. He created some of his most famous works, developed new ideas, and formed lasting relationships with other thinkers and artists. His experiences at the court of Ludovico Sforza shaped his career and influenced his approach to both art and science. Chapter 6: The Last Supper. In the heart of Milan, within the walls of the convent of Santa Maria delle Grazie, Leonardo da Vinci embarked on one of the most ambitious projects of his career. It was the year 1495, and Leonardo was commissioned by Ludovico Sforza, the Duke of Milan, to paint a mural in the convent's dining hall. This mural would come to be known as The Last Supper, one of the most famous and revered works of art in history. The Last Supper depicts the moment when Jesus announces to his 12 disciples that one of them will betray him. This shocking revelation is captured in a scene full of emotion and drama. Leonardo aimed to bring this biblical story to life in a way that had never been done before. Leonardo started with careful planning and numerous sketches. He wanted each disciple to have a unique reaction to Jesus' announcement, showing a range of emotions such as shock, disbelief, anger, and sorrow. This required a deep understanding of human expression and anatomy, areas where Leonardo excelled. He studied the faces and gestures of people around him, using these observations to inform his work. One of the remarkable aspects of The Last Supper is Leonardo's use of perspective. He created a sense of depth by placing the figures in a realistic space that draws the viewer's eye towards the center of the painting, where Jesus sits. The lines of the architecture in the background all converge at a single point behind Jesus' head, creating a powerful visual focus. Leonardo also used light and shadow to enhance the drama of the scene. This technique, known as chiaroscuro, helped to highlight the figures and give them a three-dimensional appearance. The contrast between light and dark areas in the painting adds to the emotional intensity, making the figures seem more alive and present. As Leonardo worked on the mural, he faced several challenges. One major challenge was the size of the painting. Covering a large wall, the mural required Leonardo to work on scaffolding, often high above the ground. This was physically demanding and required careful coordination. Another challenge was the technique Leonardo chose for the mural. Instead of using the traditional fresco method, which involves applying paint to wet plaster, Leonardo decided to use tempera on dry plaster. This allowed him to work more slowly and make changes as needed. However, it also made the painting less durable, and the colors began to fade and deteriorate soon after it was completed. Despite these difficulties, Leonardo's dedication and meticulous approach paid off. When the mural was unveiled, it was met with awe and admiration. The lifelike figures and the emotional depth of the scene were unlike anything people had seen before. The Last Supper was hailed as a masterpiece, showcasing Leonardo's skill and innovation as an artist. The symbolism in The Last Supper is another aspect that makes the painting so fascinating. Leonardo included many subtle details that add layers of meaning to the scene. For example, Jesus is depicted in the center, forming a triangular shape that symbolizes the Holy Trinity. The disciples are grouped in threes, further emphasizing this religious concept. The positioning of the disciples also tells a story. Judas, the betrayer, is shown clutching a small bag, likely containing the silver he received for his betrayal. His face is shadowed, reflecting his dark intentions. In contrast, the other disciples are engaged in animated discussions, their expressions and gestures conveying their shock and confusion. Leonardo's choice of colors also plays a significant role in the painting. He used vibrant colors for the clothing and subdued tones for the background, creating a contrast that makes the figures stand out. The use of red and blue, particularly in Jesus' robe, symbolizes his divine nature and human suffering. As time passed, the Last Supper faced many threats. The painting's location made it vulnerable to damage from humidity, pollution, and even war. During World War II, a bomb hit the convent, destroying much of the building, but miraculously leaving the mural mostly intact. Efforts to restore and preserve the painting have been ongoing for centuries, reflecting its immense cultural and historical value. Despite its fragile condition, The Last Supper has left an indelible mark on the world. It has inspired countless artists, writers, and scholars, becoming a symbol of the power of art to convey deep human emotions and stories. The mural's influence can be seen in various forms of art, from Renaissance paintings to modern cinema. For learners of English, The Last Supper offers valuable insights into the language of art and the storytelling techniques used by artists. Leonardo's ability to convey complex emotions and narratives through visual means is a powerful example of how art can communicate across cultures and languages. Studying this masterpiece can enhance one's appreciation for art and improve observational skills, which are useful in both language learning and everyday life. Moreover, The Last Supper teaches important lessons about perseverance and innovation. Leonardo's willingness to experiment with new techniques and his dedication to achieving his vision despite the challenges are qualities that can inspire anyone facing difficulties in their own pursuits. His work reminds us that great achievements often come from taking risks and pushing the boundaries of what is possible. As we reflect on The Last Supper, we see not just a painting, but a window into Leonardo's mind and his approach to art and life. His meticulous planning, attention to detail, and deep understanding of human nature are evident in every brushstroke. This masterpiece is a testament to his genius and his enduring legacy as one of history's greatest artists. In the next chapters of Leonardo's life, we will continue to explore his incredible contributions to art, science, and engineering. But The Last Supper stands as a pinnacle of his achievements, a work that continues to captivate and inspire people around the world. You're listening to Woo English. If you enjoyed learning about Leonardo da Vinci's remarkable journey, his contributions to art and science, and the inspiring lessons from his life, please like and comment on the story. Chapter 7. Scientific Inquiries. Leonardo da Vinci was not just a great artist, he was also a passionate scientist. His curiosity about the world around him led him to study many different fields, including anatomy, botany, geology, and engineering. Leonardo wanted to understand how everything worked, from the smallest plant to the vast landscape. His scientific inquiries were as important to him as his art. Leonardo kept detailed notebooks where he recorded his observations and ideas. These notebooks were filled with drawings, notes, and calculations. He used them to explore his thoughts and to plan his experiments. Today, these notebooks are valuable sources of information about his methods and discoveries. One of Leonardo's main interests was anatomy, the study of the human body. He believed that understanding how the body worked was essential for creating realistic art. To learn more, Leonardo dissected human bodies, which was unusual and even risky at the time. He made detailed sketches of muscles, bones, and organs, capturing their structure and function with incredible accuracy. Leonardo's anatomical drawings were not just artistic, they were scientific studies. He wanted to know how muscles moved, how bones supported the body, and how organs functioned. His observations were so precise that they provided insights into human anatomy that were not widely known until centuries later. For example, he accurately described the heart's function and the structure of the human spine. In addition to anatomy, Leonardo was fascinated by botany, the study of plants. He carefully observed and sketched various plants, noting their shapes, structures, and growth patterns. He was particularly interested in how plants grew and how they adapted to their environments. Leonardo's botanical studies helped him understand nature's design and the interconnectedness of all living things. Leonardo also studied geology, the science of the earth. He observed rocks, mountains, and rivers, trying to understand how they formed and changed over time. He was one of the first to suggest that fossils were the remains of ancient living creatures, which indicated that the Earth was much older than people previously thought. His observations of water flow and erosion were advanced for his time and contributed to the development of geology. Leonardo's interest in engineering and mechanics led him to design various machines and devices. He sketched plans for flying machines, bridges, and war machines. One of his most famous designs was a helicopter-like device called the aerial screw. Although it was never built, the concept was ahead of its time and showed Leonardo's innovative thinking. Leonardo's notebooks contain many inventions and ideas, some of which were practical and others purely imaginative. He designed a machine for testing the tensile strength of wires, a mechanical knight that could move, and a diving suit for underwater exploration. His ideas were not always feasible with the technology of his time, but they demonstrated his creative problem-solving abilities and his desire to push the boundaries of what was possible. One of Leonardo's significant contributions to science was his method of observation and experimentation. He believed in learning through direct observation and hands-on experiments rather than relying solely on ancient texts or accepted beliefs. This approach was revolutionary and laid the groundwork for the scientific method used today. Leonardo's detailed observations and experiments were recorded meticulously in his notebooks. He wrote his notes in mirror writing, which means the letters were reversed. Some believe he did this to keep his ideas secret, while others think it was simply easier for him as a left-handed writer. Whatever the reason, his notebooks were filled with a wealth of information that revealed his scientific genius. Leonardo's studies in hydrodynamics, the movement of water, were particularly notable. He observed how water flowed in rivers, how it interacted with obstacles, and how it could be controlled and used for various purposes. His drawings of whirlpools, waves, and currents are not only beautiful, but also scientifically accurate. He applied this knowledge to design canals, water pumps, and other hydraulic machines. One of Leonardo's most ambitious engineering projects was the design of an ideal city. After witnessing the plague devastate Milan, he imagined a city with wide streets, efficient sewage systems, and clean water supplies to promote health and hygiene. Although this city was never built, his ideas influenced urban planning and public health concepts. Leonardo's scientific pursuits were driven by his insatiable curiosity and his desire to understand the world. He saw no boundaries between art and science, believing that both were essential for exploring and expressing the truths of nature. His ability to observe, analyze, and draw connections between different fields made him a true Renaissance man. For learners of English, Leonardo's scientific inquiries offer valuable lessons. His dedication to observation and experimentation shows the importance of curiosity and hands-on learning. By studying his methods, students can learn how to approach problems creatively and think critically. Leonardo's interdisciplinary approach, combining art, science, and engineering, demonstrates the value of a broad education. It encourages learners to explore multiple interests and to see the connections between different areas of knowledge. This holistic view can inspire students to develop a well-rounded perspective and to appreciate the richness of human understanding. Moreover, Leonardo's notebooks are excellent examples of detailed note-taking and documentation. They show how writing and drawing can be used together to record observations and ideas. For language learners, this highlights the importance of clear communication and the ability to express complex thoughts through both words and images. Leonardo da Vinci's scientific inquiries were ahead of his time and have left a lasting legacy. His meticulous studies, innovative ideas, and interdisciplinary approach continue to inspire scientists, artists, and thinkers today. As we reflect on his contributions, we see a man whose boundless curiosity and relentless pursuit of knowledge changed the way we see the world. Leonardo's story reminds us that the quest for understanding is a lifelong journey filled with wonder and discovery. Chapter 8. Return to Florence. After spending many years in Milan, Leonardo da Vinci returned to his hometown of Florence in 1500. He was eager to reconnect with old friends and immerse himself in the city's vibrant artistic community. Florence had changed since he left, becoming even more of a center for art and culture. Leonardo was excited to contribute to this thriving environment and to explore new ideas and techniques. Upon his return, Leonardo was welcomed warmly by the people of Florence. They had heard of his many achievements in Milan and were eager to see what he would create next. Leonardo quickly re-established connections with other prominent artists of the time, such as Michelangelo and Raphael. These interactions were both inspiring and challenging, as each artist pushed the others to improve and innovate. One of Leonardo's major projects during this period was a commission to paint a large mural in the Hall of 500 in Florence's Palazzo Vecchio. The mural was to depict the Battle of Anghiari, a famous victory for Florence. Leonardo approached this task with his usual meticulous planning. He studied the details of the battle, sketching out various scenes and experimenting with different compositions. However, the project was fraught with difficulties. Leonardo chose to use an experimental technique similar to the one he used for the Last Supper, which involved painting on dry plaster. Unfortunately, this method proved problematic, and the mural began to deteriorate before it was even completed. Despite these setbacks, Leonardo's preliminary sketches for the Battle of Anghiari are still admired today for their dynamism and attention to detail. During his time in Florence, Leonardo also began working on one of his most famous paintings, the Mona Lisa. The Mona Lisa is a portrait of Lisa Gherardini, a noblewoman from Florence. Leonardo spent years perfecting this painting, striving to capture the essence of his subject. The portrait is known for its incredible realism, the enigmatic expression of the subject, and the delicate use of light and shadow. One of the techniques Leonardo used in the Mona Lisa is called sfumato, which means soft or smoky in Italian. This technique involves blending colors and tones so smoothly that there are no harsh lines or edges. The result is a lifelike and almost magical quality to the painting, where the transitions between light and dark are subtle and seamless. Leonardo's exploration of sfumato was part of his broader interest in optical effects and human vision. He wanted to understand how the eye perceives light and color, and how these perceptions could be recreated in painting. His studies in this area were ahead of his time and showed his deep commitment to both art and science. In addition to his work on the Mona Lisa, Leonardo continued to explore new ideas and inventions. He was fascinated by the concept of flight and spent much time designing flying machines. He studied the flight of birds, making detailed notes and sketches, and applied this knowledge to his designs. Although he never built a working flying machine, his ideas and drawings laid the groundwork for future aviation developments. Leonardo's curiosity also led him to study the movement of water, which he had begun during his time in Milan. In Florence, he continued his observations and experiments, creating detailed diagrams of water flow and hydraulic systems. He designed devices to control and direct water, such as canals and water pumps. His work in this area demonstrated his ability to combine scientific inquiry with practical engineering solutions. One of Leonardo's more unusual interests was the study of anatomy. In Florence, he resumed his dissections of human bodies, seeking to understand the inner workings of the human form. He made countless detailed drawings of muscles, bones, and organs, which were both scientifically accurate and artistically beautiful. These studies helped him improve the realism of his paintings and contributed to the field of anatomy. Leonardo's time in Florence was also marked by his interest in geometry and mathematics. He studied the works of ancient mathematicians and sought to apply mathematical principles to his art. He explored the concepts of proportion and symmetry, believing that a deep understanding of these principles was essential for creating harmonious and balanced works of art. Despite his many interests and projects, Leonardo faced challenges during his return to Florence. His perfectionism sometimes led to delays and unfinished works, and his experimental techniques did not always yield the desired results. However, his relentless pursuit of knowledge and innovation continued to inspire those around him. Leonardo's interactions with other artists in Florence were both competitive and collaborative. Michelangelo, for example, was a younger artist who admired Leonardo, but also saw him as a rival. The two artists had different styles and approaches, and their rivalry pushed each to achieve greater heights. This period of artistic competition and exchange helped fuel the Renaissance and led to some of the most remarkable achievements in art history. For learners of English, Leonardo's return to Florence offers valuable lessons about perseverance, curiosity, and the importance of continuous learning. Leonardo's willingness to experiment and take risks, even when faced with failure, shows the value of resilience and determination. His interdisciplinary approach, combining art, science, and engineering, demonstrates the benefits of a broad and integrated education. Leonardo's work on the Mona Lisa and his other projects in Florence highlight the importance of attention to detail and the pursuit of excellence. His meticulous studies and innovative techniques serve as a reminder that great achievements often come from a deep commitment to understanding and improving one's craft. Chapter 9. The Mona Lisa. In the early 1500s, Leonardo da Vinci began working on what would become his most famous painting, the Mona Lisa. This portrait has captivated people for centuries, and its mystery and beauty continue to draw millions of visitors each year. But what makes the Mona Lisa so special? The Mona Lisa is a portrait of a woman named Lisa Gherardini. She was the wife of a wealthy merchant in Florence, Francesco del Giocondo. The painting was likely commissioned to celebrate the birth of their second son. However, Leonardo did not deliver the portrait to the family. Instead, he kept it with him for the rest of his life, continually working on it and making small adjustments. One of the first things people notice about the Mona Lisa is her smile. It is subtle and enigmatic, changing depending on the angle from which you view it. This effect is due to Leonardo's use of sfumato, a technique that involves blending colors and tones to create soft transitions between light and shadow. There are no harsh lines in the Mona Lisa. Everything is smooth and gradual, giving the painting a lifelike quality. Leonardo also paid close attention to the details of the face. The delicate shading around the eyes and mouth creates a sense of depth and realism. He used thin layers of paint to build up the features gradually, a technique that required great patience and skill. The result is a portrait that seems almost alive, with eyes that follow you as you move around the room. The background of the Mona Lisa is just as fascinating as the figure herself. It depicts a winding river and a distant landscape with mountains and valleys. Leonardo used aerial perspective to create a sense of depth, making the background appear to recede into the distance. The combination of the detailed foreground and the hazy, dreamlike background adds to the painting's mysterious quality. One of the reasons the Mona Lisa is so famous is because of the many theories and stories that surround it. For a long time, people have wondered about the identity of the woman in the portrait. Most historians agree that she is Lisa Gherardini, but there have been other theories. Some people think the Mona Lisa might be a self-portrait of Leonardo in disguise, while others believe it represents an idealized woman rather than a real person. The painting's history is also full of intrigue. After Leonardo's death, the Mona Lisa was acquired by King Francis I of France and kept in the royal collection. It remained in France, eventually becoming part of the Louvre Museum in Paris. In 1911, the Mona Lisa was stolen by an Italian man named Vincenzo Peruggia, who believed that the painting should be returned to Italy. He hid it in his apartment for 2 years before being caught, and the Mona Lisa was returned to the Louvre. This theft only added to the painting's fame, making headlines around the world. During World War II, the Mona Lisa was moved several times to keep it safe from the Nazis. It was hidden in various locations across France before finally being returned to the Louvre after the war. These events have made the painting a symbol of resilience and the enduring power of art. The Mona Lisa has inspired countless artists, writers, and filmmakers. Its influence can be seen in many different forms of art and popular culture. The portrait's mysterious smile and captivating gaze continue to fascinate people, making it one of the most iconic images in the world. For learners of English, the story of the Mona Lisa offers many lessons. It shows the importance of patience and attention to detail in creating something truly remarkable. Leonardo's use of techniques like sfumato and aerial perspective can inspire students to explore new methods in their own work. The Mona Lisa also teaches us about the power of art to connect people across time and cultures. Despite being over 500 years old, the painting still speaks to us today. Its mystery and beauty remind us of the enduring nature of great art. Studying the Mona Lisa can also help improve observational skills. By looking closely at the details of the painting, students can learn to notice subtle differences in light, shadow, and color. This practice can be valuable not only in art, but in many other areas of life. Leonardo's decision to keep the Mona Lisa with him and continue working on it shows his dedication to his craft. He was never completely satisfied with his work and always sought to improve it. This attitude can inspire learners to strive for excellence in their own endeavors, never settling for less than their best. The journey of the Mona Lisa through history also highlights the importance of protecting and preserving art. The efforts to keep the painting safe during times of danger show how much people value and care for cultural treasures. It reminds us of the responsibility to safeguard our artistic heritage for future generations. In summary, the Mona Lisa is more than just a beautiful painting. It is a masterpiece that combines technical skill, artistic innovation, and deep emotional resonance. Its creation, history, and enduring allure offer rich lessons for learners of English and anyone interested in art and culture. Leonardo da Vinci's work on the Mona Lisa is a testament to his genius and his relentless pursuit of perfection. As we continue to explore his life and legacy, we see how his passion for art and science has left a lasting impact on the world. The Mona Lisa remains a shining example of Leonardo's extraordinary talent and his ability to create works that captivate and inspire us across the centuries. Chapter 10: Later Years in Rome. In 1513, Leonardo da Vinci moved to Rome, the heart of the Catholic Church and a city filled with ancient history and magnificent art. At this time, Leonardo was in his early 60s, but his curiosity and drive to create were as strong as ever. He had been invited to Rome by Giuliano de' Medici, the brother of Pope Leo VI, and he eagerly accepted the opportunity to work in the Eternal City. When Leonardo arrived in Rome, he was amazed by the city's grandeur. The ruins of ancient Rome, the grand churches, and the vibrant streets were full of inspiration. Leonardo set up his workshop in the Vatican, surrounded by other great artists such as Raphael and Michelangelo. This environment was both exciting and challenging, as these younger artists were creating some of their most famous works. Leonardo's work in Rome was diverse. He was involved in various projects, from designing a system of canals to creating maps for the city. One of his main projects was to improve the city's fortifications. Leonardo used his knowledge of engineering and architecture to design stronger and more effective defenses for Rome. His innovative ideas included walls that could better withstand attacks and strategic placements of towers and gates. Leonardo also worked on artistic projects in Rome, although he did not complete any major paintings during this period. Instead, he focused on his scientific studies and inventions. Leonardo's notebooks from his time in Rome are filled with sketches and observations of anatomy, botany, and geology. He continued his dissections, studying the human body in great detail. His drawings of muscles, bones, and organs were incredibly accurate and helped advance the understanding of human anatomy. One of Leonardo's fascinating studies in Rome was his investigation of the human heart. He dissected hearts from both humans and animals, trying to understand how they worked. Leonardo made detailed sketches of the heart's chambers and valves, and he was the first to correctly describe how blood flows through the heart. These studies were groundbreaking and contributed significantly to medical science. Leonardo's interest in flight also continued in Rome. He observed birds and designed various flying machines, including gliders and helicopters. He made detailed notes on the mechanics of flight and the principles of aerodynamics. Although he never built a working flying machine, his ideas were far ahead of his time and laid the groundwork for future aviation pioneers. In addition to his scientific studies, Leonardo was fascinated by the natural world. He spent hours observing plants and animals, making detailed sketches and notes. He studied how plants grew, how animals moved, and how the landscape changed over time. His observations of nature were not just artistic. They were scientific investigations aimed at understanding the underlying principles of the natural world. During his time in Rome, Leonardo's relationship with other artists and thinkers was complex. He admired the work of Raphael and Michelangelo, but he also felt a sense of competition with them. Michelangelo, in particular, was known for his intense personality, and there were tensions between the two great artists. Despite these challenges, Leonardo remained focused on his work and continued to push the boundaries of art and science. Leonardo's later years in Rome were also marked by his work on inventions. He designed numerous machines and devices, from war machines to musical instruments. One of his notable inventions was a mechanical lion that could walk and open its chest to reveal a bouquet of flowers. This invention was created for a celebration hosted by the King of France and demonstrated Leonardo's talent for combining art and engineering. Another significant project was Leonardo's work on hydraulic systems. He designed water pumps, irrigation systems, and devices for draining marshlands. His innovative ideas aimed to improve water management and provide solutions to common engineering problems of the time. Leonardo's designs were practical and showed his deep understanding of engineering principles. Despite his many projects and studies, Leonardo faced challenges in Rome. He struggled with health issues, including problems with his right hand, which made it difficult for him to draw and paint. However, he adapted by using his left hand and continued to work with determination and passion. Leonardo's time in Rome was also a period of reflection. He looked back on his life and work, considering his achievements and the challenges he had faced. He continued to seek knowledge and explore new ideas, driven by his insatiable curiosity and desire to understand the world. For learners of English, Leonardo's later years in Rome offer valuable lessons. His perseverance and adaptability in the face of challenges show the importance of resilience. Leonardo's ability to continue working and creating despite his health issues is an inspiring example of dedication and passion. Leonardo's interdisciplinary approach, combining art, science, and engineering, demonstrates the value of a broad education. His work in multiple fields shows how different areas of knowledge can complement and enhance each other. This holistic view can inspire students to explore various interests and see the connections between different subjects. Leonardo's work in Rome also highlights the importance of observation and experimentation. His detailed studies of anatomy, botany, and flight were based on careful observation and hands-on experimentation. These methods are fundamental to scientific inquiry and can help students develop critical thinking and problem-solving skills. In summary, Leonardo da Vinci's later years in Rome were marked by creativity, innovation, and a relentless pursuit of knowledge. His diverse projects and studies reflected his interdisciplinary approach and his deep curiosity about the world. Despite the challenges he faced, Leonardo continued to push the boundaries of art and science, leaving a lasting legacy that continues to inspire us today. Chapter 11. The French Connection. In 1516, Leonardo da Vinci accepted an invitation from King Francis I of France. The king admired Leonardo's work and wanted him to bring his genius to the French court. At the age of 64, Leonardo packed his belongings, including some of his most famous paintings, and traveled to France. This move marked the final chapter of his life. King Francis welcomed Leonardo with great respect and provided him with the Château du Clos-Lucé, a beautiful mansion near the king's residence at the Royal Château of Amboise in the Loire Valley. Leonardo was given a generous stipend and the freedom to pursue his interests. This support allowed Leonardo to spend his remaining years focusing on his studies and creations. Leonardo's life in France was comfortable. He enjoyed the lush gardens and the peaceful surroundings of the chateau. The king often visited him, eager to discuss art, science, and philosophy. King Francis there saw Leonardo not just as an artist, but as a wise and knowledgeable mentor. Their relationship was warm and respectful, and the king valued Leonardo's advice on many matters. During his time in France, Leonardo worked on several projects. One of his significant contributions was to the design and improvement of the chateau's gardens and hydraulic systems. He applied his knowledge of engineering to create efficient irrigation systems and beautiful landscapes. These designs showed Leonardo's ability to blend art and science, creating functional yet aesthetically pleasing environments. Leonardo continued to paint, though his health was declining. One of the paintings he brought with him to France was the Mona Lisa, which he continued to refine. The painting remained with him until his death, a testament to his dedication to perfecting his work. Even in his later years, Leonardo's curiosity and desire to innovate did not wane. He sketched designs for various machines and inventions, including a mechanical lion that could walk and open its chest to reveal a bouquet of flowers. This invention was created for a royal celebration, demonstrating Leonardo's enduring creativity and ingenuity. Leonardo's influence on French art and culture was profound. He introduced new techniques and ideas to the French court, inspiring artists and thinkers. His use of sfumato, a technique of blending colors to create soft transitions, and his studies of anatomy and perspective were particularly impactful. French artists admired Leonardo's detailed and realistic approach to painting and sought to learn from his methods. Leonardo's interdisciplinary approach, combining art, science, and engineering, resonated with many in the French court. He was seen as a symbol of the Renaissance, a time when knowledge and creativity flourished. His presence in France helped to spread Renaissance ideas and inspire a new generation of artists and scholars. Despite his declining health, Leonardo remained active in his studies. He continued to dissect animals and study their anatomy, making detailed sketches and notes. He also explored geology, observing the formation of rocks and landscapes. His notebooks from this period are filled with observations and ideas, showing his relentless pursuit of knowledge. Leonardo's time in France was also marked by his reflections on life and his achievements. He looked back on his career, considering the works he had created and the knowledge he had gained. Although he had faced many challenges and setbacks, he was content with his contributions to art and science. Chapter 12. Legacy and Impact. Leonardo da Vinci's life was extraordinary, filled with incredible achievements in art, science, and technology. His contributions have left a lasting legacy that continues to inspire people around the world. In this final chapter, we reflect on the enduring impact of Leonardo's work and how his genius has shaped our understanding of many fields. Leonardo's contributions to art are perhaps the most well-known. His paintings, such as the Mona Lisa and The Last Supper, are considered masterpieces of Renaissance art. These works are celebrated for their innovative use of perspective, light, and shadow. Leonardo's technique of sfumato, which involves blending colors smoothly to create soft transitions, has influenced countless artists. His ability to capture human emotions and the complexity of the human form set new standards for artistic expression. But Leonardo's legacy extends far beyond his paintings. His detailed sketches and studies in his notebooks reveal his deep interest in anatomy, which he pursued not just to improve his art, but to understand the human body. His dissections and drawings provided insights into muscles, bones, and organs, advancing the field of anatomy. These studies laid the groundwork for future scientists and medical professionals, showing the value of combining art and science. Leonardo was also a pioneer in engineering and technology. He sketched designs for numerous inventions, many of which were far ahead of his time. His ideas included flying machines, such as the ornithopter and the aerial screw, which are considered precursors to modern helicopters. He also designed bridges, weapons, and various machines, demonstrating his inventive mind and practical problem-solving skills. One of Leonardo's remarkable engineering projects was his design for an ideal city. This city included wide streets, efficient sewage systems, and clean water supplies to promote public health and hygiene. Although it was never built, Leonardo's vision influenced urban planning and highlighted the importance of sanitation and public infrastructure. Leonardo's scientific investigations covered a wide range of subjects. He studied the flow of water, the movement of air, and the properties of light. His observations of nature were meticulous, and his ability to document his findings through detailed drawings was exceptional. Leonardo's work in hydrodynamics, for example, included studies of water currents and whirlpools, which are still relevant in modern fluid dynamics. Leonardo's interdisciplinary approach to learning and creation is one of his most significant legacies. He did not see boundaries between art, science, and engineering. Instead, he believed that understanding one field could enhance his knowledge in another. This holistic view of learning encourages us to explore multiple interests and see the connections between different areas of knowledge. Leonardo's influence can be seen in the work of many artists, scientists, and thinkers who came after him. The Renaissance period, known for its cultural and intellectual revival, was significantly shaped by Leonardo's contributions. His innovative techniques and ideas inspired other great artists of the time, such as Michelangelo and Raphael. His scientific methods and inventions paved the way for future discoveries and technological advancements. Even today, Leonardo's work continues to inspire. Modern scientists and engineers study his notebooks to understand his thought processes and to find inspiration for new ideas. Artists admire his ability to capture human emotion and his innovative use of techniques. Educators use his interdisciplinary approach to encourage students to think creatively and explore various fields of study. The preservation of Leonardo's works has been a significant effort. His paintings, drawings, and notebooks are held in museums and collections around the world. institutions like the Louvre in Paris, the Uffizi Gallery in Florence, and the British Library in London house some of his most famous pieces. Efforts to restore and protect these works ensure that future generations can continue to learn from and be inspired by Leonardo's genius. One of the most remarkable aspects of Leonardo's legacy is his notebooks. These documents contain thousands of pages of sketches, notes, and ideas, covering a wide range of subjects. They provide a window into Leonardo's mind, showing his curiosity, creativity, and meticulous approach to learning. Scholars and researchers continue to study these notebooks to uncover new insights into his work and thought processes. Leonardo's impact on education is profound. His life and work demonstrate the importance of curiosity, observation, and hands-on learning. He showed that drawing and writing could be powerful tools for understanding and communicating complex ideas. Leonardo's interdisciplinary approach encourages students to integrate knowledge from different fields, fostering a deeper and more holistic understanding of the world. For learners of English, studying Leonardo's life offers valuable lessons. His dedication to learning and his willingness to explore new ideas can inspire students to pursue their own interests with passion and perseverance. Leonardo's detailed documentation of his observations and experiments highlights the importance of clear communication and the ability to express complex thoughts effectively. Leonardo da Vinci's legacy is a testament to the power of human creativity and curiosity. His work has left an indelible mark on the world, shaping our understanding of art, science, and technology. His interdisciplinary approach and relentless pursuit of knowledge continue to inspire us to explore, create, and innovate. As we reflect on his life, we are reminded that the quest for understanding and the desire to improve our world are timeless pursuits that can drive us to achieve greatness.